friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Natasha and I am the crafty gal behind Crafting Extreme Love, and I am here today as it is release day over at Kellie Stamps, and there's two sets that released today that are super fun. One that is called Drink Up and another one that is called Crappy Day Vibes. So for this project I am going to be using Drink Up to document a crafty happy hour over Zoom that I did with one of my good girlfriends, Rachel, over at the Life Facilitator. So I've got my materials ready to go. I've got my stamps, my inks ready, and I've printed my photo out here. I use a Canon selfie to print out my photos, and I think it does a pretty good job. So I've got some really colorful papers here to work with today, along with this ink to have a really fun layout. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm going to do for this layout, as I do for most of my projects, is to go ahead and start placing the different items on the paper to make sure that I've got a good idea of the direction that I want to go. Sometimes I do just go for it, I grab some materials, but I do generally like to have a rough idea of where I'm headed. So I am going to take my first step in my layout here, and I did speed this up, and I am doing some tone on tone repeated stamping with this really fun happy hour stamp right over this really bold like mustard yellow paper. So I really like how that came out. The ink in the stamping is not perfect, but I am not worried about that. I am really going for the overall look and for the fun of the process and not perfection. So I did play around with some ink colors prior to hitting record to see what I wanted to do. I also was going back and forth in putting this border that I had an idea about either horizontally or vertically, and I ended up going with the vertical look, and I really love how it turned out. So I'm going to put these papers on the page. I do use the adhesive ATG gun, which I really like. I'm now had it for a couple of months, and at first it was a little challenging. It was a little awkward to get used to because it is pretty big, but I have to say I was going through those mini adhesive tape guns so quickly, and I feel like this is a really good solution for myself. So definitely, if you are interested, I would check it out. Now I am moving on to creating this pattern border here. I am pulling from two different stamp sets, one that released last week and another one that I want to say maybe was from National Scrapbook Day. I'm not positive. I will go ahead and link those below. I know for sure that the Mega Heart Eyes stamp is still available. I'm not positive on this crafty one. That's why it's always good to make sure if you see something in Kellie's shop that you go ahead and pull the trigger as soon as you have those funds available to do so. So this layout is all about a crafty happy hour that I had with my girl Rachel, and so I thought that this was so fun to create this border with the beer mug, even though we're both very ladylike and drinking straight out of the bottle, but still the beer cup with the scissors, as we both were working on creative projects as we were hanging out and laughing and getting caught up. With my vertical border completed, I will be moving on to creating the main cluster and focus of this layout using a variety of different patterned papers. Some of these are from the Citrus Twist kit, the Denim and Blush. I've got some papers from Citrus Twist, And I've also got, I want to say that tag is from Dear Lizzie. So I really pulled a variety of different patterns as I wanted to create something that was really fun and playful, as Rachel and I had such a great time. Now, when you're using a variety of colors and patterns, like I am in this unit, using tone-on-tone stamping is a great technique to add that stamping detail and flair to your layouts without overpowering the layout with all of the different things that are going on when you're using so many different colors and patterns for your projects. I will be going ahead and sticking all of these different pieces down as I went on my long rant about the ATG gun. You can see it here in action. It's fantastic. And I am going to build it a bit off-centered and mostly focused to the right. And this is a look at my layering process. I really am thinking about offsetting each layer, and I've talked about this before when I'm building my clusters, and if you're interested in knowing more about how I do this or just seeing more of this actual thinking through, let me know in the comments below. I often try and pre-think a lot of these different layouts that I share specifically here on YouTube to avoid very long videos, but I know that there are certain YouTube content creators that I love to watch, even if their videos are, 30-40 minutes long, because I do like to see their process. So be sure to let me know if that's something that you're interested in, as I would really be happy to share that with you. I really enjoy clustering, as you can tell. So here, once again, I've got my title built, and I'm going to be adding some of the stamping details to these circular and tab embellishments. I do play with some different colors here, using an ink from the Cocoa Daisy Denim and Blush Kit. I definitely recommend that if you are using their inks, that you do not stamp it directly onto paper that is going to be used, that you're going to use the back of. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So I have noticed that these inks are very juicy and they will bleed through your paper very much. So I found, like, okay, if I put them on embellishments, like with a thicker cardstock, or in this example, I'm going to mount this white cardstock that I'm building the layout on some more pattern paper, so it's a-okay. Now, using this these cute little sentiments, I've got clink, I've got beer, 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 and a repeat stamping, just to bring in some more little details of this super fun stamp set. Next up, I will be adding this really cute cheers scripty stamp here onto a label. I apologize, I'm out of the shot right now. You'll see it quickly. Now, I do debate if I want to put this label vertically or horizontally, but I already felt like there was a lot of elements in the layered pieces that were going vertically, so to add some variety and visual interest to my layout, I do decide to put that tab horizontally. I also wanted to add these circular elements, as there is a lot of the more squared, rectangular sizes of the pattern paper, and then obviously with the long and skinny photo, I thought that the circular embellishments are providing some balance, and I thought that they kind of reminded me a little bit of the bubbles in beer. I guess there's not too many, but the carbonation of the beer, I guess champagne would have more bubbles. And now I'm going to add another tab here. These little label tabs are my favorite. I think they're so fantastic, and I really enjoy stamping on them. It's just such an easy thing to do, but it's just so stinking cute. I'm a huge fan. So I'm gonna definitely, as you can see, did it numerous times here, and it will be something that I will repeat in future projects because it's definitely a thing for me. Labels are definitely a love language, and this is a great way to, with stamping on labels, to add more depth and texture to your layout without adding too much bulk to your albums or your planner, if that's something that concerns you. I now will be taking my cardstock that I have my layout on and mounting it onto a piece of pattern paper. I am going to trim the bottom to match the top and the side, the right hand side. Now on the left hand side, I've intentionally left this wider and I do not plan to trim it down. I am currently using the Cocoa Daisy planner as my memory planner, and I plan to disc punch this layout, and I have realized that I do like having some extra space on the left hand side, so that way the layout isn't compromised and it can shine beautifully and has enough space to move easily around the discs. I've added my journaling, and I'm going to trim this down and call it a wrap on this layout after I've added these final little dimensional details with some enamel dots and enamel hearts. Thank you so much for stopping by and checking out this process video using the Kelly Stamps February release stamp sets. If you're interested in picking these up for yourself to scrap some fun beer or wine themed layouts, there is a special code just for you down below, along to a link to Kelly's stamp shop. If you enjoyed this video, I would love it if you give it a thumbs up. And if you are interested in seeing more content like this, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button. You can also find more content of mine over on Instagram at Crafting Extreme Love. Until next time, take care.